Hi, my name is Ev and welcome to Buddy is in Charge, and welcome to Marley Park, which is to the south of Dublin, and we're going to go and look for old things today. So we entered by the College Road entrance, and this is the start or the end of the Wicklow Way. So the first kilometre of this walk is actually following the Wicklow Way, and this road is adjacent to the M50, which is the circular motorway around Dublin. So we're coming up to our first old thing, and this bridge that we're coming up to, which I'll show you, has allegedly a haunting, and it is apparently every 7 years a headless horseman is seen just here. I've never seen it myself, but that's the river it goes over. You never know. Maybe we just can't see it. I love my wildflowers. And this is on Kilmashogue Lane. Some nice houses. But very quickly the city falls behind and countryside opens up. So this is another old place, and it is St. Columba's College. Now obviously with the dog I can't go in, but it's had so many very interesting people who have been students in this place, and I will write them down in the comments. It's the private school. It's based on Eton. When they opened it first, it was in town, and then they moved out to the countryside. So we're now going to retrace our steps because we are going to look for water bump, a Bullawn stone and a Moravian cemetery. And we have an old water pump. So this would have been very central to the local community. They would have not had plumbing, so they would have come here, filled their wares with water, and it is still in use today. Back over the haunted bridge, just so that people who may not realise this is actually 2-lane carriageway. Back onto the M50 motorway. Some lovely old ruins in the fields. If you are in Ireland, you will see these signs over bridges, and basically they are all numbered right throughout the Republic of Ireland. So DR means Dunleary Rathdown, and then you have the number of the road and the bridge. Somebody likes to try and get in everywhere. So this is Kilmashogue House. And we also find in another water pump. So this is Whitechurch Road, and it leads from Rathfarnham all the way up into the Dublin Mountains. It is quite a busy road, but we're here on Sunday morning, the 10th of May, so it should be a little quieter than normal. Wouldn't love a river in your garden. This is lovely cow parsley, not to be mistaken by something that looks very similar, which is hogweed and is poisonous, but this is not. This is lovely and sweet and delicious. I can make a really nice tea. Whitechurch Parish Church. This is Church of Ireland Anglican Episcopal Church, and it replaced an older church which is further down the road. This would have been part of the first fruits churches, and they would have been built in the early 1800s. Behind this modern sign opposite Whitechurch, there is this little cutout, of the roadway, and this is the site, which is over 2,000 years old. So there has been a lot of human habitation in the area for many, many centuries. This is Whitechurch School. It's a beautiful building, and there are no children today, so I can film it. So it has been replaced with a more modern building. So on we go, going downhill. So our next little place that we want to try and find is the Moravian Cemetery. You can hear the bells in the background. This is new, and this is Whitechurch National School, which replaced the older building which we have just passed. And we're crossing the road here because this is the Moravian Cemetery. With the padlock on the gate, obviously we can't go in. But these are very interesting because all the headstones lie down on the ground. I'll put the dates in as to when this place opened and when the last burial. Lovely and peaceful. A spectacular golf course. I believe this is the Grange. You also pass by some lovely old villas. Something rather interesting in the wall. That is a lintel, which would have been for a window or a door, one or the other. Close by, obviously a door, so it could have been, that last one could have been a window. Now, so on we go, along this lovely, quiet enough road. We found this little laneway, and I'm in search of an old church, and I cannot find it. Maybe I've already passed it, but it's nice. Buddy's enjoying himself again today. We've got a lot of new builds in the area now, so sometimes things can get a little bit hidden. That's interesting. That could either be a stepping stones to go up over a wall, or it could have been for leaving milk churns out onto. We'll find out. So we're now heading down towards Whitechurch Junction, and we pass all these lovely stone cottages. A lot of these have been obviously renovated. The back of the houses have been added onto, but the front of them have got to remain the same. Aren't they lovely? Time this ride because it is a very busy road. Across the way from us is Pierce Park, and in there, I've already been in there on the channel, so I'm not going to go back in again today. Great place to read up on Irish history. The house, which is 1980'S School, is now open as a museum. And this little tower at the end is known as Emmet's Fort. Again, trying to minimise traffic noise. So Emmet's Fort is named after the leader of one of our many rebellions, Robert Emmet. So on we go, we're heading back to Marley. So now back in Marley Park, and Marley Park is very historic because it goes back all the way to the Norman times. And look at all this lovely border. Actually, here I go again, being totally and utterly distracted. We'll have a look at the house from the outside, the old part and the new. This is the back of the courtyard. Nice places to sit down in the shade. Is the new part of Marley House, and then the old part is around the corner. You can see the difference. That would have been the original. Come on, bud. This is the old Dowager House, which is now a cafe. This is Laurelmere. Marley Park has been in public ownership since the early 1970s, and since then it has become a home for concerts. It has got many sports pitches and playgrounds for youngsters, and it's also a fantastic place to go for a walk. Before it became a public park, it was home to a very famous racehorse called the Larkspur. There are plenty of seats along the paths, which is lovely to sit down with maybe a picnic or a cup of coffee from one of the many cafes. Under this beautiful tree, this is where we will say goodbye to you this week, and hope to see you again next time. Next time will be more up in the trees and the woods again.